And who knows, after handling the Z8, maybe I have to switch back to Nikon after all these years. Hi guys, my name is Matti Sulanto and I'm a photographer, and I'm very excited today because I'm about to enter a special Nikon event. Back there, I'm in Petaling Jaya, Malaysia, about 10 kilometers from Kuala Lumpur. And that is a special Nikon Z8 event. And I can probably even hold the camera in my hand, and that makes me super excited. But there are also two other reasons why I'm particularly excited today. The first reason is that I have very little experience with any of the Nikon Z series mirrorless cameras. You could say I have almost no experience with them at all. The only model I have ever held in my hand is the Z6, and that happened when that camera was a new model several years ago, and I held it in my hand maybe 3 minutes. And that is all my experience with any of the Z series cameras. I have never even taken a single picture on any of those cameras. Sorry about the traffic noise, there's quite a lot of traffic back there. And another reason why I'm so excited is that way back, a long time ago, when I started out as a commercial photographer, I was using a Nikon camera. So I have a little bit of a soft spot for Nikon cameras. But let's go in and see what is actually going on.
But the plus point is, it seems like it's very rugged. It feels very good in hand. It's feel like a tank.
Alright, here it is, the Nikon Z8. And my very first impressions are that it feels quite a big chunk of a camera. It's not a small camera. Although it doesn't feel that bad in hand, and it doesn't feel like too huge, but it certainly is not a small camera at all. And the lens that I have is a 24 to 120 f4 zoom lens, and with this lens it is quite heavy, and it's a little bit big to my taste, but it doesn't feel as big as it looks in many of the pictures that I saw before I entered this event. With this camera, Nikon obviously used exactly the same recipe as they used with the D9 and D700 back in 2008. The D700 was a stripped down version of the D3 also with a lower price, and this is the same thing. This is in many ways the same camera as the Z9, but with a little bit lower price. But the $4,000 US dollar price is certainly not a cheap price, and if you're looking for an affordable, cheap mirrorless camera and small camera, this is obviously not your camera. One important thing is the viewfinder. Let's take a look. Oh, this viewfinder is quite nice actually. I saw someone in one of the previews or tests complaining that the viewfinder has low resolution, but to me it doesn't look that low. I think it looks actually quite beautiful, and it looks better than my Sony A7 Mark IV viewfinder for sure. No problem there, very nice. And also the screen looks very nice, and it is almost fully articulating. It goes all over the place, except it doesn't allow you to take selfies or vlog type of content. But maybe Nikon thinks this kind of a camera is not for vloggers or selfie people, Instagram people, I don't know. But I'd like to have a fully articulating screen, so if I had this camera, I still had the possibility to do some vlogging and to be able to see myself on the screen. Since I started my professional commercial career with a Nikon camera, I'm happy to see that Nikon is back with the top-notch technology. And this camera, for example, like the Z9, this does not have a shutter at all. I'm clicking the camera and you see there is no shutter going on, and I think this is pretty amazing, and it's a good feature. I think we should pretty much get rid of mechanical shutters already in 2023. I feel it's an unnecessary device that just wears out and causes maybe when the camera gets older all kinds of problems. But when there's no shutter, there are no problems with the shutter, and also the camera can be truly silent without any sound, and that is very handy in some situations. Obviously, it's not possible to make any kind of a full review in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, especially when the camera is so feature rich as this camera and complicated as this camera. But let's at least test the autofocus slightly, because my friend Robin is sitting right there, and Robin is a challenging subject, especially for the face recognition. Let's see if it, oh yeah, it looks like Robin, all right, and the camera can recognize his face. So I'd say the autofocus feels very, very quick, and they told us it's pretty much the same autofocus as in the Z9, and therefore I have no doubts about the autofocus at all, even without shooting any pictures. And when it comes to image quality, also I trust that the image quality is probably one of the best that you can have with a 45 megapixel full frame sensor, because I think all the latest Nikon cameras, the Z7 I believe uses some variation of the sensor, I think, and also the Z9, they've been rated as one of the top image quality cameras. So we just take their word that the image quality is top notch. What else can I say in such a short time? I wish it was a little bit smaller, but then again, that is very personal. Some people may like this, and this is supposedly pretty much the same size as the D800 or D850. So if people are transferring from their Nikon DSLR to this camera, I think they feel right at home. I wish it was a little bit smaller for my taste, and I already said that about $4,000 price is not for everyone, but that is also personal. To me, it's a little bit high, the price, but I guess you get a lot of features and very good features for that price. So I'm sure that the people who buy this camera are going to be very, very happy. I think that's all I have for you about this Nikon Z8 camera. I hope you enjoyed this little very basic overview and first impressions. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed a lot of these first impressions, please do consider buying me a cup of coffee. There's a link down below for that if you don't live in Finland. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll definitely see you in the next video.